The first time you press the buy button, your hand shakes a little. You tell yourself it's excitement. It isn't. It's your body knowing something you haven't admitted yet, that you just crossed a line you can't uncross. Level 1, the $1,000 account. You fund it on a Sunday night with money you stretched from 3 paychecks. You skipped a birthday dinner. You told your girlfriend the car needed something. You didn't tell anyone what it was really for. The platform loads and you see your balance sitting there. $1,000, and for a moment it feels heavier than it should, like the number is watching you back. You pick a ticker from a video. Some guy in a hoodie said it was about to run. You don't really understand his reasoning. You understand the feeling in your chest when you clicked confirm. The trade goes green. $38, then $52. You close it at $64 because you're scared it'll disappear. And when your balance moves from $1,000 to $1,064, you feel something that isn't just happiness. It's proof. Proof of something you already suspected, that you're different, that you see what other people miss. You open another trade 10 minutes later. This one goes the other way. You hold it. You tell yourself it'll come back. You read that in a comment somewhere. It doesn't come back. You close it the next morning at a $94 loss. And the strange thing is, you don't feel upset. You feel alert. Like the loss proves something too. That this is real. That you're finally playing a game worth losing in. That's the thing about this level nobody warns you about. The loss doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. You deposit another $300 the next day and tell yourself, it's tuition. You've already started collecting the stories that justify the next move before you make it. You've just learned the first skill of a day trader. And it isn't reading charts. It's editing the story you tell yourself about what just happened. You end the month at $740. You tell yourself, next month will be different. You mean it. You always mean it. Level 2, the $10,000 account. It's been 7 months. You've watched more hours of content than you've slept. You've read 3 books, abandoned 2 more. You have a system now, or what you call a system. Entry rules, a watch list, a notebook where you track your trades by hand because you read somewhere that the best traders do that. You fund the account with money that wasn't supposed to be yours yet. A tax return, a side gig, something you moved out of a savings account you'd promised not to touch. You don't examine the decision too closely. This is a different game now. A 2% loss isn't $20 anymore. It's $200. You feel it in your chest differently. Your hands don't move as fast. You tell yourself, that's discipline. You catch a move one Tuesday afternoon that nets you $840 in 20 minutes. You sit back from the screen and feel like you've cracked something open. Your girlfriend asks what you're smiling about. You say, just work. She doesn't push it. She's stopped pushing a lot of things lately. The account grows to $13,200, then pulls back to $10,800. Then you misread a news event and watch it bleed to $8,400 in 40 minutes. You don't close the position. You open another one in the opposite direction trying to hedge, and you make it worse. By end of day, you're at $7,600. You don't tell anyone. You move $1,400 from another account to bring the balance back to $9,000. And you don't write that transfer in the notebook. That's where it starts at this level. The hidden accounting. 2 sets of books. The one you track and the one you don't. You're not lying exactly. You're just editing, emphasizing the $840 afternoon, forgetting the $1,400 refund. You're beginning to protect the story more than the money, and the story is already more expensive than you realize. Level 3, the $25,000 account. You cross the pattern day trader line on a Thursday. $25,000 minimum to make unlimited trades. You've been waiting for this threshold the way other people wait for a promotion. It took almost 2 years to get here. Some of it came from trading. Most of it came from everywhere else. A bonus you didn't spend, a car you sold early, a loan you took out and told your mother was for something else. You have a setup now, 2 monitors, a paid scanner that costs $150 a month, a data subscription, a private Discord where people share ideas at 4 a.m. and nobody thinks it's strange. You think of yourself as a trader now, not someone who trades, a trader. There's a difference, and you feel it the first morning you wake up at 6:40 and check futures before you're fully conscious. At this level, a new kind of pressure arrives: consistency. You had good weeks before. Flukes feel the same as skill until you have to repeat them. Now you're tracking metrics: win rate, average winner, average loser, profit factor. The numbers tell a story, and the story isn't the one in your head. You have 3 losing weeks in a row, not catastrophic, just consistent in a way that means something. You are doing something wrong at a repeatable level, and you don't know what it is. And that specific uncertainty, skilled enough to know you're wrong, not skilled enough to know why, is the most dangerous place in this entire journey. It's where people blow up accounts without understanding what hit them. You hire a trading coach for $2,000. He tells you things you already know. What he actually gives you is permission to trust yourself again. And that's worth the money. And that's also a little disturbing, because you realize you were paying him for belief, not knowledge. Your girlfriend moves out in October. There's no fight. She says you're somewhere else even when you're in the room. You don't argue because she's right. You both know it. And there isn't anything to say after that. The account closes the year at $31,000. You are profitable. You are not yet good. Level 4, the $100,000 account. It happens faster than you expected and slower than you hoped. You cross 6 figures on a Wednesday afternoon, and the primary thing you notice is that you don't notice. 12 months ago, this number would have been a fantasy you were ashamed to say out loud. Now, it's a working balance. You need it to be this size to take the positions you take. The money has become a tool, and tools don't impress you. You trade real size now. You move in and out of positions most people will never see in their brokerage accounts in their lifetimes. You manage 6 figures of exposure before lunch, and none of it feels like anything. That absence of feeling isn't peace. It's the first sign that something inside you is being rewired. You think about your ex sometimes, in the 2 minutes between one trade closing and the next setup forming. Then the setup forms, and you stop thinking about it. That's the new skill at this level. The ability to close a thought the way you close a position. Clean, without ceremony. At this level, you start to understand what edge actually means. It's not a strategy. It's not a pattern. It's a statistical reality that requires enough occurrences to prove itself, and most people wash out before the sample size is large enough. You understand that now in a way you didn't before. You were almost one of them. You also start to understand what the market actually is. It isn't a mechanism. It isn't a system. It's a collection of humans making decisions in real time with incomplete information and overlapping incentives. When you buy, someone sells. One of you is wrong. You are in a zero-sum environment dressed up to feel like an economy. This isn't cynicism. It's clarity. And clarity you are discovering is not the same thing as comfort. You start finding the other people who understand this. They talk differently, quieter, no alerts, no hype. They ask boring questions, and they ask them precisely. You feel more at home around them than anywhere else. And you notice, with a small flat feeling you don't quite want to name, that you've started to find most other conversations slightly annoying. Level 5, the $1 million account. You don't feel like celebrating. This isn't humility for a camera. You genuinely don't feel it. 7 figures with your name on them, and the primary emotion is a low, stable pressure. The kind that doesn't spike because it never leaves. You feel it when you wake up. You feel it on Saturdays when the market is closed. You feel it at dinner with your parents when your mother asks how things are going, and you say good and change the subject. Your entries are surgical now. You've learned to wait in a way the version of you who funded that first $1,000 account wouldn't recognize. You have setups you won't touch if the spread is wrong. You have rules you've broken exactly twice in 4 years, and both times the market punished you immediately, as if it had been watching. Maybe it's superstition, maybe it's pattern recognition. You're no longer sure where one ends and the other begins. At this level, you start to feel the liquidity. You are big enough now that your entries affect what you're entering. On thinner names, you can see your own order sitting in the tape like a footprint. You've become part of the machine you used to just watch. That should feel powerful. Sometimes it does. More often, it just feels like responsibility without any ceremony. You don't talk about the account size, not because of any rule, but because you've watched what happens when people find out. The shift in how they look at you, the calculations you can see them running behind their eyes, the careful phrasing that replaces whatever they used to say. You'd rather not participate in that. Your social life has contracted to a radius that contains almost nobody. 2 people, maybe 3. You tell yourself, focus requires this, that you'll reconnect with the others after the next milestone. You've been telling yourself that since the $25,000 account. The next milestone always arrives, and the reconnection never does. You don't examine why. Your mother calls on a Sunday. You let it go to voicemail because you're staring at a chart and you don't want to be interrupted. And then you feel something uncomfortable about that for about 4 seconds. And then the setup forms, and the feeling closes itself. Just like Level 4 taught you, clean without ceremony. Level 6, the 8-figure account. The call comes at 6 a.m. Not with urgency. That isn't how things work at this level. It comes scheduled, professional, from someone whose only job is to make sure your capital is positioned before they open. You take it in the kitchen, you make coffee while you listen. You say 3 words and hang up. The coffee machine is louder than the conversation was. You've crossed into a tier where the money generates problems the money has to solve. Tax events that require restructuring. Positions large enough to need pre-negotiated execution. Relationships with desks at firms whose names you used to read about in financial news, and now you see them in your phone contacts under first names. You don't talk to those people the way you used to talk to anyone. At this level, there is no community, no Discord, no forum, no group chat. There's a very small number of people on Earth operating at this scale, and you will never be in a room with most of them. The ones you do meet, you don't fully trust, and they don't fully trust you, and that's the correct posture, and everyone understands it without saying it out loud. You live well. You want to be precise about this, because it matters. The apartment is exceptional. The car is whatever you want. Travel is first class and sometimes private. That the absence of those frictions does not produce happiness. It produces clarity. Material comfort at this level is not a destination. You think about the $840 afternoon sometimes, not with nostalgia, with the recognition of a variable that's no longer in the equation, the surprise of it, the almost physical shock of the win. That's the real cost, not the relationships, not the years, not the version of yourself you can't access anymore, the absence of surprise, the fact that nothing the market does tomorrow will make you feel the way that $840 afternoon made you feel in front of 2 monitors with $10,000 on the line. The market opens. You watch the first few minutes without touching anything. Old habit. It's not discipline anymore. It's reflex. Somewhere on a trading platform right now, a balance reads $1,000. Someone just pressed buy. Their hand shook a little. They told themselves it was excitement. It wasn't. And they don't know yet what's on the other side of the door they just opened. And they'll learn. Everybody learns. You place your order. The screen flickers. The day begins. At the end, every level of this journey costs you something. Not just money, not just time. The version of yourself that started, the people you didn't call back, the surprise you'll never feel again. And the trader sitting at an 8-figure account, and the trader staring at a $1,000 balance for the first time. They're the same person. One of them just doesn't know it yet. If you're about to press buy for the first time tonight, your hand might shake a little. You'll tell yourself it's excitement. Remember what it really is, and decide if you still want to open the door.